Okay, I just realised that I should really show you the process that I go through after I've used the water filter. So just for the record, I've emptied it all out. I took the label off. The label was getting on my nerves. But I've emptied it all out into here. So now this is all clean. In fact, as I was squeezing this through the water filter, I could see the little critters, tiny little microbes swimming around. But once you've done it, you can check all you like. There's absolutely nothing in there at all. But this is what you need to do for each time you use it. So what I tend to do is once I've collected some water and filtered it, I will use a clean pan with a little clean lid, and I just pour a bit of water in there, and I suck it up with the plunger. Obviously I've got to put it on the floor to do that, you know. Let's get the lid on there. So I'll suck that water up with this plunger, which is this one is not the one that came with the Sawyer. I might have mentioned that in another video. This one I got from my sister, who is a nurse, because the first one I broke the little nib on it. So here's my first full plunge of water. Now in the first full plunge of water, you want to go fairly hard. That's how I broke the nib. I went too hard one day. So you want to go fairly, you want a fair amount of pressure on there, but not too much, because you're going to break your plunger. Now, the water, when you're filtering it, goes this way. So when you're flushing out, obviously you want to go in the opposite direction. So I wonder if I could do this without getting it everywhere. Let's move that out of the way. So I'm just pushing it through at a fairly good pace. And you want to do that a couple of times, really. The first full flush, the reason why you want to make that quite hard is because the little with the little network that they've got in there, the fibres, you want it to be able to open up and make you don't want to make a channel in those fibres. You want it to just blast through the fibres, you know. So that's why you give it the first full plunge. It will sort of help with the other plunges then that you're doing. So second plunge. So second plunge, so it's a dog walkers, you know, it's the nature of the game, innit? So the second plunge, you don't have to go quite as hard as the first one, but you are going to want to give it a full one. And then what I tend to do is what's left with it. I mean, you can do 3 plunges, but to be honest, I don't want to waste that much water. Morning. Nah, they're not polite. They don't like me. You know, some people are like that. I just decided to ignore me. Fuck 'em, posh people in it. So as you can see, all I'm doing is just flicking it out of the back end. And you really want to try and get as much out of it as possible, you know. A good thing, the little thing I do is I'll blow on the sucky end, just to give it that little extra. Or of course, fill this with air and just push it through a few times. You just don't want all that water sitting in there, you know, because it's just going to fester really, isn't it, if there is anything in there. Right, so I believe that's empty now. Yeah, there you go, job done. It's such a good buy. Put it this way, by having this, I haven't got to walk around, I haven't got to worry so much about walking around with loads of water all the time, which can get really weighty. Anyone that does wild camping will know that, or just camping in general, or backpacking. You know, your water's a real pain in the neck, isn't it? So this thing will last for a long, long, long time. I mean, I've only had it for about 6 months, maybe 6 months, and it gets a lot of use, you know. Obviously, it's the nature of the way I live. I can't be getting water everywhere. I can't be carrying loads of water around with me, even though I've got the bike. The bike is heavy enough. I do estimate that my baggage may weigh about 6 stone, but do you know what? I've never actually weighed it, and I'm really bad at estimating that. So if ever I get the opportunity to find some scales, I'll pop my back wheel on the scales and I'll weigh it and see how much that back wheel weighs, because let's face it, that's where the majority of my kit is, on the back, isn't it? So I'll be interested to know that, actually, because I am lugging it about quite a bit. I have to lift it and manipulate it and that, you know, and I'm only a slight woman. Although I've mentioned before, you'd be surprised how strong I am for my stature. Anyway, so yeah, that was me flushing it out. So there you go, the little water filter thing. And if I haven't mentioned it before, it does come with a straw as well. So if you get real stuck and all you've got is a puddle, you just pop your straw on the end where you'd normally squeeze your water bottle through and just turn it over and just suck, you know. And then when you get the opportunity, in your next visit a toilet or something, get it flushed out then. You know what I mean? That's the way it goes, isn't it? So yeah, Sawyer, great buy, really cheap, lasts for ages, can't fault them. Alright loves, catch you later.